What if I told you that the world around you, your life, your experiences, even your deepest thoughts, aren't as solid or as real as you believe? What if the subtle glitches, the moments of déjà vu, the uncanny synchronicities are not just coincidences, but clues pointing to a reality so profound, so mind-bending, that it could shatter everything you thought you knew? Scientists at the forefront of quantum physics are uncovering evidence that suggests our universe, our very existence, might be an incredibly advanced, sophisticated program, a quantum glitch in the matrix. And the most electrifying part? If reality is a program, then you, yes you, might just have the power to rewrite its code. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just question reality, you'll learn how to consciously shape it. Welcome to Xendai, where we bridge the gap between the frontiers of science and the depths of spirituality to unlock your true potential. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most provocative and exciting ideas of our time, the simulation hypothesis, supercharged by the strange and wonderful world of quantum mechanics. Is it possible that we are living in a highly advanced simulation, a kind of cosmic computer game? This isn't just science fiction anymore. Esteemed physicists, philosophers, and technologists are seriously considering this possibility. But more importantly, if this is the case, what does it mean for us? Are we merely puppets, or can we become players, even co-creators, within this grand design? The implications are staggering, especially when we consider how quantum principles might offer us the cheat codes to not just understand this programmed reality, but to actively influence it, to recode it for greater abundance, profound joy, and a life lived with purpose. We'll explore the scientific breadcrumbs and then, crucially, uncover how you can harness this understanding for radical personal transformation. So, where does this wild idea of a programmed reality come from? The clues are embedded within the very fabric of existence, revealed by the bizarre rules of quantum physics. Let's look at some of these quantum glitches that make scientists scratch their heads and wonder if reality is fundamentally digital, not analog. First, the observer effect. This is a cornerstone of quantum mechanics, famously demonstrated by the double-slit experiment. Subatomic particles, like electrons, behave as spread-out waves of possibility when no one is looking. But the moment we try to observe them, to measure which slit they pass through, they collapse into definite particles, taking a single path. Think about that. The act of observation, of conscious attention, fundamentally changes the nature of reality at its most basic level. It's as if the program only renders the details when a conscious observer requests them. Why would reality behave this way unless it was being, in a sense, generated or rendered upon demand, much like a detailed scene in a video game only fully materializes when the player looks at it? Then there's wave-particle duality. This isn't just about observation, it's about the inherent nature of stuff. Everything in the quantum realm, light, matter, exists in a state of superposition, being both a wave of potential and a particle of actuality simultaneously, until an observation forces it to choose. This fluidity, this state of maybe, is much easier to comprehend if reality is information-based, a set of probabilities within a system, rather than solid, fixed things existing independently. Consider quantum entanglement, what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. Two particles can become linked in such a way that they instantly influence each other, no matter how far apart they are, across a room or across the galaxy. If you measure the property of one, you instantly know the property of the other. This instantaneous connection defies our classical understanding of space and time. But in a simulated system, information doesn't necessarily have to travel. It can be part of the underlying code that links seemingly separate elements. The distance could be an illusion of the rendered interface. And perhaps the most direct hint of a digital reality comes from theories suggesting that spacetime itself might not be continuous, but pixelated. Just like your computer screen is made of tiny pixels, some physicists propose that there's a fundamental, smallest possible unit of space, known as the Planck length, and a smallest unit of time, the Planck time. Below this scale, the concepts of space and time as we know them might break down. If reality has a resolution limit, a smallest possible pixel, that's a very strong indicator that it could be computational, information-based. It's like zooming too far into a digital image and seeing the individual building blocks. These quantum clues don't definitively prove we're in a simulation, but they paint a picture of a universe that behaves much more like a sophisticated information system than the solid objective world our senses trick us into perceiving. Before we go further, I'm curious, have you ever experienced a glitch in the Matrix moment? A bizarre coincidence, a strong sense of déjà vu, or a synchronicity that felt too perfect to be random? Share your experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and see how many of us have sensed these ripples in the fabric of reality. What's fascinating is that these cutting-edge scientific ideas echo ancient spiritual traditions. For millennia, mystics and sages have spoken of reality as an illusion, a dream, or a divine play. The Hindu concept of Maya describes the phenomenal world as an illusion, a veil that hides the true, underlying reality of Brahman, or universal consciousness. Buddhist philosophy also speaks of the illusory nature of the self and the world, emphasizing emptiness, or sunyata. These traditions didn't have quantum mechanics, but through deep introspection and contemplative practices, they arrived at similar conclusions, that what we perceive as solid and separate is, at a deeper level, interconnected and perhaps not real in the way we assume. Could it be that these ancient wisdom traditions were tapping into the fundamental nature of this programmed reality through the user interface of consciousness itself? So, if reality is a program, who or what are the programmers? This is where things get even more interesting and empowering. Is it some advanced alien civilization, a future version of humanity, or is it something far more intimate? Many spiritual paths suggest that the programmer isn't an external entity, but rather consciousness itself, a universal consciousness of which we are all individual expressions. In this view, we are not just characters in the program, we are aspects of the consciousness running the program. Our higher self, our soul, could be seen as a higher-level player, or even a co-designer of our individual life experience within the larger simulation. The power here is realizing that if we are part of this fundamental consciousness, then we have an inherent connection to the source code. The program isn't necessarily something imposed upon us, but something we are actively participating in and potentially co-creating. This shifts the narrative from being a passive avatar to an active agent, a conscious player who can learn the rules of the game and perhaps even bend them. This brings us to the most empowering part. If reality has programmatic qualities, and if our consciousness plays a key role in its manifestation, then how do we learn to write our code? How do we shift from being a passive recipient of the program's default settings to becoming a conscious programmer of our desired experiences? This is where the law of attraction, the power of intention, and ancient wisdom meet modern science. Your mind and intentions are the programming language. Think of your thoughts, particularly your focused intentions, as the commands you input into the system. Quantum physics shows that observation, a focused mind, collapses possibilities into reality. When you consistently focus your mental energy on a desired outcome with clarity and belief, you are essentially telling the quantum field what to render, What reality to bring forth from the infinite sea of potential. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's directing conscious energy. Your beliefs are the operating system, your core beliefs about yourself, about the world, about what's possible, act like the underlying operating system through which all your programs, intentions, must run. If your OS is riddled with limiting belief viruses, like, I'm not good enough, abundance is hard to achieve, I'm unlucky, then even the best intention programs will struggle to execute properly. Rewriting your code starts with upgrading your operating system, identifying and transforming limiting beliefs into empowering ones. This is deep inner work, involving self-reflection, affirmations that resonate, and conscious reprogramming of your subconscious mind. Your emotions are the compiler and vibrational signature. Emotions are more than just feelings. They are energy in motion. They are the energetic charge that compiles your intentions and broadcasts your unique vibrational signature to the universe. Positive, high-frequency emotions like gratitude, joy, love, and excitement align you with desired outcomes. They tell the system that you are a vibrational match to what you want to experience. If your intentions are positive but your dominant emotional state is fear, doubt, or lack, it's like writing good code but trying to run it on a corrupted compiler. Your energetic output becomes muddled. Mastering your emotional state, cultivating high vibrational feelings, is key to effective programming. Inspired action is executing the code. You can write the most brilliant program, but it won't do anything until you hit run. Inspired action is the execute command. Once you've set your intention, aligned your beliefs, and cultivated the corresponding emotion, be open and responsive to nudges, ideas, opportunities, and synchronicities. These are the pathways the program uses to manifest your desires in the rendered reality. This isn't about forced hustle, but about moving in flow, taking steps that feel aligned and resonant with your desired outcome. Practice quantum debugging, presence and detachment. Just like a programmer debugs code, you need to observe your reality with presence. Notice what's manifesting. If it's not what you desire, don't get frustrated. Instead, become curious. What code, thoughts, beliefs, emotions might be creating this? This requires detachment, not being overly attached to specific outcomes or timelines, but trusting the process. Sometimes the system needs time to process your new code, or it might deliver it in unexpected ways. Presence allows you to adapt and refine your programming as you go. The idea of our reality being a sophisticated program, a quantum simulation, isn't meant to be a source of fear or helplessness. Quite the opposite. It's an invitation to awaken to your incredible power as a conscious co-creator. Whether reality is a simulation or not, the principles remain the same. Your consciousness, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, and your actions are profoundly powerful forces that shape your experience. The glitches and strange rules of the quantum world are perhaps not flaws in the system, but pointers, guiding us to understand the deeper mechanics of existence and our role within it. You are not just a character, you are an expression of the very consciousness that underpins all reality. You have the innate ability to influence the code, to shift your personal narrative from one of default settings to one of deliberate, joyful creation. Embrace your power as the programmer of your life. Start today. Choose your thoughts with care, cultivate empowering beliefs, tune your emotional vibration to abundance and joy, and take inspired action. The universe is waiting for your command. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of reality with Xendai. If this resonated with you, if you feel inspired to take control of your program, please give this video a like, share it with others who might be ready for this message, and most importantly, subscribe to Xendai for more weekly explorations into creating a reality of abundance, joy, and purpose. What reality will you choose to code today?